27. The crowing of roosters. I grew up in the countryside, and I have vivid memories of roosters crowing. Especially when I needed to wake up early, my diligent and kind mother would use the crowing of roosters to determine the time, prepare breakfast and packed food in advance, and then wake me up. Roosters crow 3 times each night at regular intervals. The first crowing is at about 3:30 in the early morning, the second around 4:30, and the last around dawn. Excuse me, the time of crowing may not be accurate because I have been away from my hometown for more than 2 decades, and I am now living in an area where no crowing of roosters can be heard. Some people say that roosters crow to tell other roosters, "This is my territory, and do not come in." Others say that roosters crow to attract hens. I would say that roosters crow to tell people the time. Prior to industrial civilization, people did not have clocks and watches. For survival, they had to know the time of the night. For example, 2 or more people on a hunting trip would set the second crowing as the time to get up. Or a group of people were to complete a certain task together and set the third crowing as the time to gather at the end of the village. Roosters crowing is involuntary. It is a conditioned reflex or induction of its biological clock in its body against the stimulation of the magnetic wave of the magnetic field when the Earth rotates to a certain angle. The rooster is not aware that its crowing is to tell people the time of day and serve people, just like us humans who are living on the Earth and are not aware that we are serving the greatest creator. The rooster cannot realize the meaning of its crowing late at night, but the man who creates the rooster is well aware of the meaning. In the universe, there is no sound that does not have a purpose. The man who creates the rooster does so for the convenience of human survival and thus has created this miracle. If roosters could realize the purpose of their crowing, they would stop doing so when they see that many of their friends and relatives have been killed by humans. If the crowing is to warn others of their own species not to violate their territory, they will not do so late at night, thinking to themselves, "Who will come to invade my territory at such late hours? I'd better conserve my energy and strength till tomorrow and fight off whoever has the nerve to invade my territory." If the rooster wants to attract more hens, it should also be aware that during the day, the hens need to lay eggs and take care of their chicks, so they would not pay attention to him if he crows late at night. It would be better for him to get a good night's sleep, keep his energy, and wait for dawn to come before he spends time with his wives, concubines, mistresses, and wildflowers on the roadside. Therefore, the rooster's crowing is only automatic behavior, but the rooster's unintentional crowing serves conscious purposes. Then, who designed this purpose? Who but the greatest creator? 28. 28. The wisdom of bees. What kind of house structure is most reasonable if we humans are to construct several hundred houses, each of which accommodates only one person temporarily incapable of activity, while taking the least material and labor, and having the strongest structure, the most beautiful appearance, and the greatest cubage? Should the houses be made of interconnected cylinders? No, the different sizes of human legs and waists may prove a waste of some space, and the waste of space means the waste of labor and materials. So it is not the most economical way of house building. In addition, cylinders have too little contact area between them, and it is not enough to serve as a wall for 2 rooms. Should the houses be made of interconnected cubes? No, the 4 corners will be a waste of space. It does not look very pretty either. Should the houses be made of adjoining octahedrons? No, the more sides a structure has, the more difficult it is to build and more time-consuming. Should houses be made of many irregular shapes? No, the houses thus constructed will not appear good, besides a lot of more time and material may be wasted. Then what structure is most reasonable? The honeycomb of bees is the most ideal structure. The honeycomb is made up of hexagonal columns. Since the lower part and middle part of the larva are different in sizes, the bottom of the honeycomb has been made into 3 congruent rhombuses. In 1712, the astronomer G.F. Maraldi of Paris Observatory concluded through measurement that the obtuse angle of the rhombus is 109.28 degrees and the acute angle is 70.32 degrees. For these figures, a French scientist specially consulted a Swiss mathematician. What is the most economical way in terms of materials to construct a hexagonal column with a bottom consisting of 3 congruent rhombuses? The mathematician's result is that the column can use the least possible material only if the obtuse angle of the rhombuses is 109.28 degrees and the acute angle is 70.32 degrees. Wow! The bees are too wonderful. Long before the birth of man, they have solved the problem that man has not discovered and realized until now. Each bee knows that the column can be constructed most effectively and economically only if the obtuse and acute angles of the rhombuses are respectively 109.28 degrees and 70.32 degrees. For us humans, only the greatest mathematicians can work out the result. How can ordinary people compare with those tiny bees? Are bees smarter, more intelligent, and wiser than humans? If this is the case, why don't the bees know for whom they have toiled by gathering honey from hundreds of flowers? Humans are not only reluctant to give to others what belongs to them but are always calculating to encroach upon what belongs to others, even wanting to occupy all the properties of the world for their own good. So, are the tiny bees carrying forward the unselfish communism style? If bees have such advanced wisdom and an open mind, they must have, according to the theory of evolution, evolved into creatures far superior to humans long ago since they came to the earth long before the birth of humans. Why have humans overtaken bees in evolution? The founder of the theory of evolution, Darwin, exclaimed, "Natural selection is powerless to explain such a perfect structure of the honeycomb because as we see it, either in terms of labor or the use of beeswax, the honeycomb conforms to the theory of maximum economy and is absolutely perfect." Then, even the originator of the theory of evolution has realized that the wisdom of bees does not result from evolution. We are also clear that the wisdom of bees cannot compare with that of humans. And bees would certainly not carry forward the unselfish communism style for humans who have been severely exploiting them. Then there is only one origin of their wisdom, instinct. What is instinct? Instinct is the capability possessed after birth. The capability possessed after birth proved to be contradictory to the theory of evolution. So, is the theory of evolution a fallacy? Doesn't the inborn capability prove that everything has been what it is now from the very beginning? Doesn't the inborn capability prove that things are not developed through evolution but are created? Doesn't the inborn capability prove the ability of the greatest creator who has created everything? Aren't the degrees of the acute and obtuse angles of the rhombuses at the bottom of the honeycomb designed by the greatest creator and added to the instinct of the bees? Do we still want to deny the existence of the greatest creator?